Turkish March. Road to Boston. The Harriet.
Welcome to the weekly review for the Freedom Fantasy League. All right, it's been 4 and 7 weeks ago we drafted, so let's see how we are all doing. All right, I give you the Week 7 review. But let's start with Bombata destroyed the gut, 216.75 to 206.73. Mom Spaghetti gets their third straight win when they sauced Racer X 222.55 to 147.90. Of course, I have to mention that this match was between my wife and I. And boy, did she spank me hard Sunday night. Oh, hang on. That might be too much information. Okay. Oops. Moving on. Okay. Form Blazing Sword sliced Snake Eyes 213.92 to 137.55. And in a match that was full of shit, more on that later, Dean's lazy team name lowered Dark Knight Rises 102.55 to 100.50. There you go. That's exactly what was all in that match. Okay, so that leads us to the matchup of the week. Yeah, listen to that. Feel that. Okay, so the scene was set for God's Yard. They were going up against a team that was starting not one, but 2 players on bye week and another on IR in Joel's terrible team name. However, Sunday proved that Joel's team came to play despite having one hand and a leg tied behind their back. Joel and God's Yard exchanged punches. With every great play by God's Yard, Joel's team would respond. After the final bell rung on Sunday, Joel was ahead of God's Yard 153.90 to 147.65. And since Joel had 2 less players than God's Yard's playing, he was done scoring. But God's Yard wasn't. He had Tyler Lockett still left to go Monday night, and all he had to do was score more than 6.25 measly points, and he would bring his team to victory. It was a wet game. It was all rainy, so nice and wet game there. But since DK Metcalf scored a long TD, why not Lockett? Well, the answer to that question was Geno Smith at QB. Okay, this guy only has eyes for anyone but Tyler Lockett. Lockett only had 2 receptions that game and scored 3.70 points, leaving the final score 153.90 to 151.35. God's Yard lost by measly 2.55 points. Oh, did I mention that God's Yard started a kicker that was cut earlier in the week? I wonder if they would have started any kicker at all, and I wonder if they would have won. The world will never know. So that was the matchup of the week. So let's go ahead and move on to the blowout of the week. All right, so that would be by a total of 76.37. Forum Blazing Sword gets the blowout of the week over the once unbeatable Snake Eyes. Forum Blazing Sword came to play having every single player, including the defense and kicker, score double-digit points. If Blazing Sword performs like this every week, he'll be what Houston legend Hakeem Olajuwon used to say, unbeatable. So it was an unfortunate week for the former number 1 team, but that was all it was, Snake Eyes. Just 1 week. When I lose, and I've been doing that confusingly often in this league, damn you, Robert Woods, I will always look to the next week, and fortunately, looking forward, you get the sweet deodorant of Joel's lame team name next week, so you should get back on track. So stiff upper fang, my good man. Yeah, stiff upper fang. Okay, so after 7 weeks of battle, we have now got an idea of who's in the lead for the quest for the Mortifer and the quest for the Rambo. But let's start with, the quest for the Mortifer. We have a new turd on the pile. Yes, we have a new turd on the pile. After weeks of shitting in their own pants, Dark Knight Rises dickies finally overflowed and dropped them to the bottom of the league. If the Dark Knight would simply take a page out of Mom's Spaghetti book and just manage your team, like at all, then they'd be where Mom Spaghetti is, which is in 6th place and in position for the playoffs. There's still time, so no one is out of the playoff hunt yet, but you sure are trying, Dark Knight. Or maybe you're not. It's really hard to tell at this point, buddy. All right, so now on to the Rambo. Okay, so we have... Oh, let's do this. Yeah. Yeah, Rambo. All right, so there's only one now, everybody. No same record ties with points being the deciding factor. Only one team on top. With a record of 6-1, and for the 2nd week in a row, Bambata is the leader for the Rambo. Now that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Mike Williams are through their bye week, it seems that Bambata can't be stopped. God's Yard will try to slay the champion next week's match with the reigning leader. Help us, God Yards. You are our only hope. So congratulations also. Yeah, congratulations there. Yeah, it's it really is a hard feat to get to that point. So yeah, I gotta congratulate you for that. But remember, everybody, the quest for the Rambo is fantastic. But it's really, you just, at this point, you only have to be between 1 and 6 right now. 1 and 6, and you'll be within the playoffs, and then you'll be even with this amazing destroyer here, Bambata. Okay, so before we end the review, okay, now it's starting to become something that we do all the time now. Okay, so it's got some good positive reviews on it, so let's keep it going. I want to make sure it's time for me to call out some embarrassing situations in a segment we're calling Oops, I Shit My Pants. Okay, so we'll start with what's quickly becoming tradition in this section. For playing Logan Thomas, who's on IR, Joel's definitive team. This is for you! and another for starting 2 players that were on bye. Here's another one for you, Joel. And you get another one against those 2 players. And of course, one more for having an uncreative team name. There you go, Joel. That is for you. Now, we have a new pooper to the pile. For playing Dustin Hopkins, who was cut by WTF, which is Washington Team Football, last Monday, and wasn't even employed by NFL team. God's Yard, this is for you. You actually got to get another one for that one. There you go. All right, so... And here's the reason I said earlier that a match was full of shit. Listen to all this shitting in pants. Listen to this, man. Chris Carson, who was on IR, Dark Knight Rises. This is for you. We're playing Robbie Gould, who's been on IR for weeks. Here's another one for you, Dark Knight Rises. And for starting Trevor Lawrence, who was on bye. Another for the Dark Knight. And for starting Keenan Allen, who was on bye. Another one for the Dark Knight. Seriously, Dark Knight, are you sure your team name is less as a reference to Batman and more of a reference for all that shit that's in your pants right now? All right, so for starting, Latavius Murray, who was ruled out days before the game. This is for you, Dean, world's class team. And the last one again is for you, Dean. Come on, man, for having the lazy team name. Yeah, I gotta get that last one in there. Holy mackerel. Okay, all right, so that wraps up the Week 7 review. Make sure to check your rosters to see if your team has a player on bye week next week. The teams on bye in Week 8 are Baltimore Ravens and Las Vegas Raiders. Thank the Lord, that is it. If you have any players on these teams you need to pivot or risk being called out next week on Oops, I Shit My Pants. Okay, so with that, congratulations to the winners, consolations to the losers, and see you guys, and now gal, next week. And remember, keep up the good fight.